what was it? What's the mind of the citizens of Abia State?
Yes.
Concerning the back and forth.
Okay.
Yes, of course, we should know that the situation have polarized the citizenry.
Citizens, yeah.
Even in my own family, I'm having issues with my immediate elder sister, who is on the side of the other. So that's the problem. That's the challenge we find ourselves.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, reason has to prevail. What are we saying? That even on the 11th, when results were declared, that part of the results that were declared from these local governments were fraught with fraud. And until we address that we had issues with people who sat and thumbprinted 300, 500 ballot papers. We had issues with a local government transition chairman who was traveling to the local government secretariat a few hours to announcement of collation of results. And he was caught with ballot materials at about 4 p.m.
I'm not aware of that.
You are not, sir. You see, so when we look at all this, so even if you say this is the result, and our brother and friend, Dr. Ibaz, is declared winner, a lot of people also have been disenfranchised. And we need to be careful so that people don't lose confidence in the electoral system.
Correct.
While we're also being careful about people losing confidence in the judiciary. First of all, one of the reasons, take for instance the June 12 challenge. June 12, 1993 was my very first time of exercising my franchise. And I was so emotive about it that when the results were annulled, I was one of those who went to the streets protesting. That is how people feel. Each time elections are being conducted, people will ask you, will our votes count? Why should I be casting one vote and some people in the hotel rooms are thumbprinting 200, 300, and they will find their way into the collation center? So INEC also should, in fact, if they had done their job, we wouldn't be here. So that institution is becoming a disgrace, especially with the Abia situation. So my thought, or I am conveying to you, that what has happened has polarized the state and has, some very grievous consequences if not properly addressed.
Mr. Bazwe, okay.
Sorry.
Dr.
This man is emphatic about it.
It's not.
It's okay.
He says that we don't want it confused with medical doctors.
Yeah, exactly.
Some medical doctors are first degree holders.
It's okay.
Yes.
Dr. Agbaze, HR Member Batunde Ogala
Yes.
sent in a tweet. He says, it is immaterial that the Guba election and assembly held on the same day.
Yes.
The court would act on the facts put before it
Yes.
in any case.
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
That's with respect to Obingwa.
Because you were saying that on the same day that the
Obingwa
gubernatorial
now.
election happened, and then the governor,
I just read to you a
the
tweet
National Assembly.
From a lawyer.
This is a tweet from a lawyer,
yes.
Batunde Ogala, says, the court would act on the facts put before it in a case.
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
He's a lawyer, and we are lawyers.
That's why
And it's not every lawyer that, it's not, in all cases, you see lawyers this side, and one side will lose. He's not 100% correct.
So the court will not act on the evidence presented?
No, part of the evidence is that the two elections held the same day. If you said election didn't hold, and the two elections held the same day, with two boxes, would the
court act on evidence not placed before it? That's what they are.
No. The court will not act on evidence not placed before it. But the evidence, the court is already aware that the two elections, House of Assembly, you also know, they held the same day, the same table. So if you say there was no election for one, and you have said there was election for the other, you can see that is contradictory. And having said this, let me also add that the issue which my brother raised before and has repeated, the issue of the INEC woman, it is immaterial. I'm sorry, my brother, just because you're not a lawyer, that's why you're saying this. Honestly, we cannot all be lawyers.
That's right.
You see, if you are not the maker of a document, he's here, very sound lawyer. You cannot, present that document, and that is why.
No, doctor, there has been a.
No, I'm coming.
There's a decision of the court that you may not be a maker, But if it is relevant and you can also present, even though you're not the maker, there has been a decision now, even of the Supreme Court.
No, what you see, that matter, the decisions are, you see, it's just like the issue of going to High Court and then Federal High Court, State High Court and Federal High Court on fundamental human rights issues.
Yeah.
It was a divided decision before.
That's right.
Even the way you're saying now, the courts are divided, even in local standing.
Yeah.
So the point is that some judges are saying this and some are saying that, and that will decide where I will lean.
That's right.
Having said that, yes, having said that, so long as
And that could also decide whether you're losing or you're...
it doesn't. No, it doesn't follow. having said that, the lawyers, including Walola Nikbeku, sound lawyer, they chose not to cross-examine the woman because she wasn't the maker of the document. That is that. But the point I am drawing home, which is inescapable, is that there are only two things that these people can allow to guide them: the Constitution or the INEC guideline. Then, if because of the INEC guideline, or flowing from the INEC guideline, they refuse to declare Dr. Ikpeazu as winner based on the election of 11th of April 2015, they cannot use it now. And if they want to use or rely on the constitutional provision of Section 179, subsection 2, then they have to go back to the main election of 11th of April 2015 and declare Dr. Ikpeazu, who also satisfied that condition, the two conditions. He knows that whoever, assuming now you're claiming something, the person that first, secures it, is at a vantage point. So if they want to rely on 1792, the first person that satisfied that condition is Dr. Ikpeazu,
So
and should be declared.
In winding this down,
Yes.
what do you think should be the Court of Appeal has given its judgment and said INEC should issue a certificate of return to OT and swear him in.
You cannot do that.
So they can't do that. Section 143 of the Electoral Act says that all of those things will remain until all the entire process of appeal are concluded.
Okay,
so
so
they
the
can't do
next-
that. And
the
everyone,
next one-
each party has 21 days to appeal.
Yeah.
It's only when you don't appeal.
What she did was
Yes,
she
yes.
just said
what
what
the
the Court of
court said.
Appeal has done.
Yes.
So-
So in winding down,
Yes.
what's your take going forward?
The way going forward is for the Supreme Court now to do the needful, and for our courts, like my brother said, to be minimal in doing certain things. Let them not be speaking with discordant tools. On the same issue, Court of Appeal will say this. On the same issue, another Court of Appeal will say a different thing. Let them rely. If they want to choose the Constitution, let them go ahead. If they don't choose the electoral guidelines, let them go ahead. In all of these two, Dr. Okezi Ikpeazu is the winner. And look at what is happening at home. Yeah, people are also reacting, like you said.
Yes. Let me quickly quote Samuel Kanu at 88 Ideas. He said, Abians voted OT, but the cancelled margin is huge. So in your closing, what do you also want everyone to take away from
it's
this?
a lesson. It's a lesson in fraud. Anything built on fraud will definitely collapse. But first of all, let the two, of course, Dr. Alex Oti have said this repeatedly, even when the results of the first elections were declared. The two of them should address the press and call on their supporters to maintain peace. That is very important. Abia has suffered so much, and we just don't need further destruction of any life or property. Let them call on theirs to shed the sword. That I also have said, let the security agencies beam their searchlight on Aba at the moment. Meanwhile, the rule of law has to be followed.
Okay. Now to
Thank you for
Onyekachi,
saying that.
Babatunde Ogala tweeted again saying that
yes.
the court cannot act based on newspaper reports.
Yes, right.
And so the evidence must be placed before it. So, for instance, any of the party wants to go to, and possibly the PDP wants to go to the Supreme Court,
Yes.
what do you advise?
Well, the team of lawyers, of both parties, must be very strong now on ground. They have not gotten the certified true copy of the judgment of the court because it was rendered on 31st, and of course public holiday the following day. Yes. And so they will this week get the certified true copy, go through it, and then formulate the grounds of appeal before the Supreme Court. And we're looking forward. I'm surprised we didn't talk about Taraba. A lot of jurisprudence in electoral process, will be expounded this year. It will be really expanded. And I'm looking forward to the Supreme Court, making pronouncement, that we really, get some of us who are lawyers excited. I'm looking forward to the Taraba and this. And then finally, we must try to formulate electoral policy that will ensure that the mandate to rule, to become governor, president, chairman of a local government must be from the people and not the judiciary. Let's minimally involve the judiciary.
Okay, thank you so much for coming.
Before we wind down,
we invited Uche
another
Okeke.
lawyer
Yes,
who's
who's supposed to be here, but hey, we've had the discussion. And Onyekachi Ubani, legal practitioner, thank you so much for coming. Also, Chigozie Ubani, public affairs analyst, thank you for being with us. And human rights and constitutional lawyer,
Doctor, please.
Dr.
Anthony.
Very important.
PhD.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure.
Indeed, it's been a fantastic session. Our artists of the week couldn't make it. They're still, I heard the restrictions on flights, weather and all of that delayed their flight, so they couldn't make it. But I want to thank you so much for letting us be a part of your day. I want to encourage you to step out as we step into 2016, be a good citizen of Nigeria, be responsible where you are, be security conscious. Above all, look to get better in 2016. I'm Neo Taigwe.
And I am Yomi Otaigbe. Thank you so much for your time.
Bye-bye.